And so for the afternoon session, so if you look at the schedule, so we will have module 3 and 4, right, for our afternoon session. So we are a little behind schedule, but I think it should be okay. Yeah, maybe because I saw that some of us have some background in Python programming, so maybe we will focus more on how we interact with Llama 3 and some aspect that we need to consider when we try to ask Llama 3 to do some tasks. Okay, so let's continue from this morning. Maybe Akash can briefly give a quick review on what you cover. Oh, something is wrong? Yeah, start from.
Okay, welcome back everyone. As we have seen that differences between Ollama and GPT and how the prompt will be taking inside the Ollama, breaking it into tokens and everything. Now let's see how we will call in Llama 3. There will be two ways. One is you can download the model into your system and you can train it. The another one is using the API access. For that, you have to log into the official websites of the OpenAI or other websites, and you'll be getting an API tokens there. You can just copy the token and you can directly you can get access to the LLMs. By using that, you can directly send a prompt to that LLM and you can get the responses. This is remotely, but for now we are having a server here. In this server, we have been installed two LLMs, Mistral 7 billion model and Llama 3.1 8 billion model. So as you can see here, first we'll import the Ollama and from Ollama we'll import the client. There we'll call the host, and this is the prompt how it gonna look. We'll define the prompt you are a cybersecurity analyst, whatever you want. The prompt will be broken into the tokens and later it will be, we'll refer the model names like Llama 3.1 or Mistral. Mistral. Mistral is a kind of other LLM. It is also an open source LLM. You can download the solution file and you can find coming to this particularly challenge to analyzing the firewall rules with Llama 3. Let's try to connect to the server first and check whether we are able to connect to the server and how much time it is taking to extract the output for the certain prompt we are giving inside. As you can see here, we have an IP address. We have to change this IP address to the IP address which we have been assigned to you. You can find it in the TL. I'll show you the TL first. Yeah.
You can zoom a little bit. It's quite small. Okay, yeah, I think that's fine.
As you can see, for online users, you can follow this AWS hosting, and for on-site users, you can follow this. We have two IP addresses which ends with 10 and another one with 20. Half of you can, this side everyone can use 10 and remaining you all can use 20 this side. You can just change the IP address in the code. I will also do that for you. the link should gonna look like this. You have to make sure the IP address should be correct for everyone.
Maybe we can try to connect, see how long that's it gonna take. Kernel.
As you can see, the response time is just 1.1 second for this.
What's your response time?
This Llama 3 is for generating any visualization code. We gave a prompt input like as the prompt is assume the user will copy paste and run the code in a Jupyter notebook user task prompt. Write a code for data visualization for dummy data using Plotly. Create a simple bar chart with days of the week on the x-axis and random incident count on the y-axis. Like now we are asking the Llama to create a own dummy data set and do the visualization based on the dummy data set. So as you can see the output of the Llama 3, first it was importing all the packages, then it's created its own dummy data here, and it's used random seeding for the days, like incident counts on the each day it was randomly done using np random. Np random is a function where the assigned values will be random in between 0 to 1 and all. As you can see, like we haven't given a range of 1 to 100 here, and the size is 7 each day, like 7 random numbers will be chosen in between 1 to 8 and assigned to the each day. And if you get the response, you can check whether the Llama 3 response is correct or not by copying that code and pasting it to the next cell and running it out. I will also do along with you. You can find, you can see the response is correct or not.
So for this one, they don't use plotly.express, right? They use plotly.graphObjects.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Anyone get some plot? And from online, can you access the Llama 3 from online? You get the plot? And you can copy. And you get the script, so you can try to copy the script and then try to run it.
As you can see, the code was correct and we are able to execute it and we are able to get the output also. So Llama 3 code is perfect. In the sense, whatever the prompt we are asking, it's able to give the output. And for online students, like you have to follow the different URL, as you know that. You can just follow the TL and you can get this AWS hosting. This is the URL for the online students we have to copy paste.
Anyone having problem connecting to Llama 3?
If you have any problem, you can ask in the chat box, online students.
Yes. Yes. We have to be careful with
I already did, but this. It's expressing more now, but the code is not running.
And then paste it.
Yeah, it's like.
And then try make it delete.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, and then run.
Yeah, it's working.
I should install Olama first.
Run it.
No. Okay, function. Okay, package. You can
Okay,
just
so it's wrong. It dot show.
go to another cell. I mean, insert another cell there. No, here. Code, plus code. This one, add a code. Yeah. Pip install.
And you go
Then just
to see what actually happened. Okay, for that part. I think some people have problem with installing some packages, the NB format. Yeah, NB format. I think you can show from. Yeah, for some people maybe you cannot plot. Yeah, that. I think we have the link.
I'll share the manual actually.
Yeah, maybe you can open the manual. Yeah. So some of you, if you cannot plot, you need to install some more packages.
Who and all are not able to run the Olama, having issues with Olama package, you can use this line, pip install Olama. You can directly download the Olama package. For Plotly, same like you have to just change the name of the package, and you have to use the exclamatory mark in front of the pip. I'll just zoom it. As you can see here. Are you able to run it, sir?
Yeah, already running the generated
Code is working, right?
Yeah,
Are you able to scroll it down? Maybe configuration issue. It's okay right now. It may be configuration issue with the other packages. Maybe installed. It's okay, sir. Right now it's working. No worries. For you, it's working, right? For you.
So for those who can plot it, maybe you can try to somehow create another prompt and see what happens. Right. This is the from the prompt. This is the plot that we got. So if right, this is the prompt. Right. Write a code for data visualization. Maybe you can try to modify. Maybe you want a more colorful plot or some live plot. Maybe you can try to modify from this prompt.
1 second, I will announce it. Excuse me, like a few of you are not connected to the Wi-Fi inside this session hall. You are connected to Centra. So just change it to like a TP. The Wi-Fi you have to connect is like TP link 477D. That is the Wi-Fi you have to work in. If you are out of this network, you can't able to access this server. So please check that thing also. And particularly in the IP address giving, you have to mention that HTTP also. Just IP address doesn't work. Before the IP address, mention that HTTP. You can find it in the TL. You have given the instructions.
If you don't have a Wi-Fi password, IP assignment, where up,
Yeah.
right. So this is a Wi-Fi password. If you want to connect to this SSID, TP-Link 377D, okay, so that we can access Llama installed in these servers.
We have two networks. You can connect any one of them. Like we have TP-Link 477D or 658C also. Any of one is fine.
How is the plot? Nice? พล็อตเป็นไงครับดูลงมาที่หนึ่งนะ NB format. I think some people still having problem with NB format. Then we can somehow show in the manual how to properly install that NB format. I think we have it in the manual, right? Maybe that one.
Which one? So like for them exactly.
NB format.
NumPy format.
Yes, an NumPy format or something. I think.
They're going for advanced NumPy or something.
Right. So what's error again? NB. Yeah, NB format. Yeah, it's NB format. Yeah, not NumPy version. It's NB format. I think it is in the manual, right?
No problem. Manual we didn't mention about the packages.
Okay. Install code Python. No, we don't have it. Yeah, I think it's I came across that situation as well, so I need to.
Sometimes the configuration issues will come. One will be advanced package, it will be like
Right.
old package.
Right. I think.
They may need to just update the package.
Yeah.
If anyone find issues with the packages, you can just update the packages.
Can you try this one? Pip install NB format or something on the terminal. Maybe it can help. Pip install NB format. Maybe it helps. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So Yeah, maybe you can try pip install NB format if you have some issue with NB format packages.
I think few of you have been completed the task. NB format. No, but it's worked here now.
It's just that
Yeah, NB format.
only an NB format you've done.
Yeah. And the same code is not working for the you will do the next task also. The same thing. Like for explaining the log firewall information. Like I have created a dummy firewall rules. They will explain how the rules.
Maybe just some explanation.
Who are like if you are completed with the extracting the Python code for visualization, you can go to the next cell, like where we have this challenge tasks. As you can see, like we have created a challenge one, like create a simple security monitor, and we have a test data here with multiple IPs and what kind of action it has been taken, and by using the defined function, like we can able to print the security monitor results. Thereafter, here comes the Olama part again. Here you can understand, like before you have seen, you have given prompt and you got a code as a result, I mean output. Now what we're gonna do is, using this Olama, we're gonna give our log data or firewall data into the Olama as a prompt and ask it to explain the log analysis. Like as you can see here, like we are asking it a prompt, like you are a cyber security analyst, give a short summary of possible issues with these firewall rules. The firewall rules we have created are here, like as you can see, one second. Now we can see properly, like the firewall rules we have rule IDs, source IPs, destination IPs, port numbers, and what action which has been taken and which kind of protocol, TCP or HTTP or anything. So by giving this input, we are asking the Llama to explain. The prompt which we are following is, you can see, like we are asking it, like you are a cybersecurity analyst, give a short summary of possible issues. If you run this part, you can able to see that it was explaining the each issue with the proper explanation. Like issues are detected for the rule ID. One is like overly permissive rule allows all traffic from any source. That Llama 3 is explaining its summary, why it is happening. So by this we can understand that LLMs are capable of taking the input log data and explain it for us properly in an easy format. So like if you are not a techie guy or not from IT guy, still you can use this data and try to understand what is happening with the help of Olama. So you can incorporate this Olama into log data analysis and normally who are not from the IT departments or something, they can able to understand what is happening with the log information.
Okay, so I have one quick question. So how can we trust this analysis from Llama 3? Can we trust it? Well, that's some issue, right? Yeah, but of course, because this rule is quite somehow straightforward, so it's fine. But if you have very complex rule, maybe it's also quite somehow something that we need to talk about as well.
And the only issue with LLMs, like mostly LLMs will hallucinate and give a random answer. So make it, we will try to make it give us proper answers by training it as much as possible and making it to give accurate information for us. So training is important for any LLM to adapt to the particular task.
Hi everyone, I'm Divya from NREN. So my question is, I mean, like, see, I download LLMA on my own server, right? And there is one version of it, and I need to train it all the time, right? So, as you said, like, how much can I trust that output from that LLM, right? So, how do I train that over time?
Yeah, I think that's a good question, right? So we normally we can use like some pre-trained model, which is say from Meta or from like GPT model, but for certain type of tasks that is quite critical. Of course, you can in the morning we mentioned some approaches that we can use to somehow we call fine tune the model, right? Either use some like proper prompting, reference to some like reliable data sources. Yeah, but eventually for this one, maybe sorry, something that we can do is we need to somehow properly test. Right? Maybe we need some team to somehow query different type, create different type of prompt, and ensure that it works fine. It doesn't hallucinate. Right? So that also, yeah.
One follow-up question. So we have like, I don't know, 30, 40 people in the room, right?
Mhm.
So, and all of us are running the same code.
Mm-hmm.
So each of us has the same exact result or not?
Same exact, I mean, for each one, right? Yeah, maybe you can ask your friends, what result did you get? Yeah, that's a good point. But normally, if it is the same prompt, then it should.
But if I change a little bit of the, say for example, tokens, right? So
Yes,
tokens
you
here and
can.
there. If I just like now the tokens are in a fixed sequence.
Mm-hmm.
So if I just manipulate the sequence,
Yes.
then it's going to be a different one.
Yes. Yeah, that's also something that we can call a risk or something that we need to somehow be aware. Yeah, but I think it's a good point that you say, okay, given the same prompt, is everyone get the same answer? You can try.
Yeah, maybe change a few tokens here and there.
Or change the temperature and see what are the results. I think for this one, the temperature is point
sir.
3. Yeah, maybe you can try to change the temperature to be like 0.5 or 0.7, given the same prompt. Yeah, what is the result? Okay, now
It's taking time now.
Okay. Oh,
Traffic.
so this is not from this is from Wi-Fi, right? Not. Okay.
The entire output is based on the good prompt. Like if you have a good prompt, you can expect a good output because the tokens will be doing the tokenization part where we'll be assigning a numerical value for the each word. Like if you have what and about, which is not, I mean, in a sentence we have what at the beginning, about in the middle. If we give a value to the about, like if what value is 1, about value is somewhere in 0.7 it should be, but if we give it as a 0.9, on the basis of this the output also will be like degraded. Like we should be maintaining the proper prompt, the tokenization should be very good so that the output also we can expect in a good way. Yeah, as you can see, it took 40 seconds and almost similar output. Yeah.
Maybe we can ask, did you get the same result, same response?
If you want to change the model and try, you can just change the model name to Mistral.
Check if Wi-Fi is working here because there's an issue in Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi is there.
Go to this one, cfast.com. Fast.com. Yeah, the internet is not working. There's an issue with the internet.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't know.
But is it from the WAN or from the LAN side?
Not our side. It's
Or from WAN? Okay. But we don't need to access that go outside, right? Should be fine. Although I'm not sure about Zoom.
but our server is connected to that Wi-Fi.
Okay.
So it's network issue.
Yeah, network issue. And also, I think like a lot of people connected to the first Wi-Fi, not the second one. The second one,
If your internet is slow, like few of
don't tell everyone. We're telling few people. Everybody switches to the second one again.
again that's the issue. Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
In the same server, we have another model called Mistral. We'll change the model name here and we'll try.
Mistral, right? So at this point, anyone having problem connecting to Llama 3? Okay, everyone can connect. Yeah.
This is the another model, Mistral is to latest. It's a 7 billion parameter model. You can try, like, as of now we are trying Llama 3.1. Now just change the model and try to get the output and try to compare like how this output is better or that Llama 3 output is giving better. You can just compare that.
Is there a problem with Mistral?
Slow network also.
Yeah.
Yeah. As we can see the difference between the outputs between Olama and Mistral. So you can understand that even the prompt is same, different LLMs will have a different way of approach giving the output. If we are trying the same prompt with the Gemini and Llama, I mean not Llama, ChatGPT or any other Claude or Perplexity or any other things, you'll get a different way of answering because they were trained in a different way. Like Gemini training will be different from the ChatGPT training. So the way of approach for giving an output will be different for each and every LLM. So it entirely based on the training.
Okay. So I'm not sure. So how long does it take to access Llama 3 now? Or Mistral? 1 minute?
Like we won't want to try
3 minutes?
Mistral,
Oh, okay.
you can just try this. Just change the model name.
How long does it take? Not working. Okay, so this is the prompt that we used earlier. Given a role, provide a short summary, and these are some of the details. Okay, that's what we use. Okay, so okay, that's.
I hope everyone tried both models like Llama and Mistral. And you can see the difference between the response between the Llama and Mistral. Mistral looks like a little very basic summarized output, but Llama it's like little exaggerated and explained output. Because Llama had more amount of training compared to the Mistral, and Mistral is a little low level model, and Llama is like one step ahead of the Mistral. Even in the part of parameters, Llama 3 had more parameters compared to the Mistral. And Llama 3 will be keep on updating itself, or like Meta will be training it, and it will be getting updated models. Like now Meta has Llama 4, I think. So depends. For your, if you want to try other models, you can get to know like there are few other models like there are very basic models. GPT-2 is completely free. You don't need to download it. You can directly access it. The other model like Pythia is there. It's a million parameter model, very minute, like less than GPT-2. There are very other models like what to say. I will show you few models which are open sourced and very easy to use. Even like Llama 2, it's like less than Llama 3. It is also in open source. Even in Llama 2, there were multiple versions. Like it will be sometimes it will have Llama 2 7 billion model, Llama 2 13 billion model, and we have 70 billion model also. So as the parameters increase, we'll be getting the better model rates. Like even in the Llama 3, we are using 8 billion, but we have also like 15 billion model and 80 billion, I think. So even in the Llama 3, we have multiple parametered versions. As I mean, now our system can hold a Llama 3 8 with a 16 GB RAM. But if you want to try for a higher end model like 80 billion parameter, you need to have a better GPU and better RAM for that. And we can go to the module 3.
Okay. Okay, sure. Okay, so thank you. So I hope everyone have a chance to try Llama 3. Okay, now let's move to the next section, which is another aspect of cybersecurity, which is about the log analysis with Python and Gen AI for report and visualization. Okay, so you can open the notebook, right, which is about the some exercises. So we already have solution provided, so you can try to go over one by one. But for this part, it's about how to analyze the log, right? So we use the log from Suricata, which is open source network intrusion detection. So if you have some experience before, so it's going to somehow detect, right, any potential attacks, some whatever, right, and it stores everything in a log. So if you try to open the log file, right, this is eve.json. Okay, so this is the log that we are about to investigate. Okay, this is in JSON format, right? So it comes with many key and value, timestamp, flow ID, pcap count, event type, alert, source, IP, port, destination, all the information that are relevant to some type of attack, right? It even has a signature. What are the type of attack, right? Box client broadcasting, scan network incoming, and it has a category, like potential corporate and the severity, and lots of stuff that we need to somehow monitor, right? Of course, we have this thing. Maybe if you have a lot of attacks, so you will somehow come across these logs, right? Which is very huge, right? Huge size. And of course, for human, it's not that easy to somehow analyze one by one. Sometimes we can write a script, like programming script, Python, or whatever programming languages, computer programming languages, to analyze these log, right? And then do some, perhaps come up with some rules to determine how many attacks do we have, or even use some type of visualization, right? Some visualization tool that so that we can somehow present everything as a picture, right? Because if we do it properly, then it's quite easy to understand what happened. Not just some network engineers, but anyone, right? With some good visualization, we can somehow convey information to those who somehow in the company or in the department in order to understand what really happened. Okay, so who has done this type of stuff before? Get the log, try to process, do some visualization. Oh, okay. How do you do it? Okay, yeah, so we have some tool like Grafana that you can do the visualization. Okay, any other tool that you use to do the visualization? Plot. Kibana, okay, that's the thing. Anyone use Python to write the visualization by yourself? No, okay, yeah. So there are a lot of tools that are available to do the visualization. Okay, so which means for us, right? So visualization is also another important aspect in our as a network engineer or anyone or like some data analyst, data scientist. They need some like some visualization skill, right, in order to present what we discover. Okay, and of course it involves some programming, or if you use some like tools, Grafana, to help the visualization, that's so possible. But before we jump to that part, I want to talk a little bit about some concept of or some fundamentals of data visualization to get some idea what would be a good way or proper way to somehow present information in using some picture, right? So the topic is in slide, this one, data visualization. I hope this is correct. Just want to make sure. Okay, right. Okay, so we will talk briefly about the basic concept of data visualization. And then from this concept, we will see how we can apply in order to do some visualization of the different type of data, like the log. Okay, so this is the objective, right? Fundamental of visualization, basic chart types that are available. Of course, each chart type is suitable for different type of data. That's what we are about to learn, right? And how to use Plotly to do the plotting. Okay, so that's also some of the idea. Okay, so I got from the internet, right? So the importance of data visualization in cybersecurity, right? This is they try to somehow use a graph to map some data breach, right, in the network, right? Or even try to visualize the attack from maybe from some hackers or some type of DDoS attack from somewhere, right? So that also show that visualization is quite important for network engineer, okay? And of course, if you look at the theory, the basics, right? So for data visualization, it's about how you somehow represent data so that it facilitates understanding of the data, right? Or in other words, it's from this classic textbook, Tukey, right? So it is about how you can present something that we never expected to see, right? So that's some basic of data visualization. For example, if you have this type of data, right, present in a table, okay. So if you look briefly, you can see that, okay, it's right here, right. These 4 data sets has the same like average value and standard deviation, okay, and the summation, right? So that's some like statistics of these 4 data sets, which of course, if you look carefully, they are different. But when we try to summarize, to analyze data with some statistics, sometimes it's not that easy to visualize the data, okay? So that's why if we do the plot, we can see that, okay, it's totally different type of data, right? So that's some good thing about visualization. So if we do it properly, then we can somehow quickly see the relationship of the data that we are about to analyze, right? Or sometimes if you background in math, right, so you know about some Pearson correlation coefficient, which is somehow a way to somehow measure a relationship of data. Of course, sometimes with that Pearson correlation, even though they have the same number of correlation, right, which is equal to 1, which means the data somehow correlate pretty well, but the distribution of data could be different, right? So that also some we could say limitation of how we use statistics to analyze the data. Right, so that's also try to summarize the importance of visualization, try to detect the pattern anomaly, or right, so that it is quite easy to see if something strange happen, something abnormal happen, okay. And of course, it also improve, we can have a faster threat triage, right, to reduce time with digging through the raw log file. And also it is quite effective communication to somehow present your idea to, especially for non-technical stakeholders, some management team, executive, right? So that also the importance of visualization. And of course, if we talk about effective visualization, normally we have a term called pre-attentive attribute. Okay, pre-attentive attribute. What does it mean? Pre-attentive. To attend. Pay attention, right? Pay attention. But pre-attentive, it means we can see something without having to attend to that, right? That's pre-attentive attribute. So these are the visual properties that our brain can process pretty fast, right? Even without we somehow consciously notice, right? So that's what we call a pre-attentive. And there are 4 types of pre-attentive attributes that we normally use, okay? Form, color, spatial, or motion, okay? So these form could be some like, the length, the width, orientation, the size, the shape, right? The color, the spatial, like 2-dimensional, or motion, okay? So that's some of the pre-attentive attributes that we can use to somehow help viewer to understand the information that we want to convey, right? For example, sometimes if you talk about, you want to present some like numeric value to compare. Bar graph is, we use length, like in the bar graph, to show that number, right? Which of course, if you talk about, if you use length, then people can see very easily that there is which one is more or less, right? So that's some of the somehow pre-attentive attribute that we normally use, right? The length, or the color. What do you think? Have you ever seen someone use color to present a numeric value? Does it help? Pretty much. Numeric value. For example, if it is from 1 to 10, 10 is red, 1 is blue. Does it make sense? Make sense? Well, it makes sense, right? But in reality, if you compare between like 5.0 and 5.1, maybe the level of color is somehow not that easy to somehow differentiate, right? So that's why in that case, maybe length is a better pre-attentive attribute that we can use to somehow present information, okay? Right, and this is some of the example how they use visualization to tell a story. Has anyone seen this before? This is about the map presented by Charles Mina, right? Which is about how Napoleon attacked Russia, right, in the early 80s and then lost. Right, so that's also the idea. So they try to use this picture to somehow tell the story, okay? For example, this is the map, right? This is the map, so they try to explain that this is the army of Napoleon at the beginning of the war before they are about to attack Russia, okay? So the width could be some, like the size of the army. And of course, as they move forward, you can see that the width is somehow less and less and less, right? Which convey what? What do you think? What happened? What happened? Why it's less and less, smaller and smaller? Right. They keep fighting along the way. Many people die, right? So that's why they are less and less and less and less until they reach Moscow, right? That's the most point. And if you know the history, you know that Russia, they just somehow attack and evade, right? And then they let Napoleon and his troop arrive at Moscow. But once they arrive here, right? There's nothing they can do, right? Because Russia has not surrendered. Right, so they keep fighting, which means after this point, and if you look, you will remember the history. So this is in the winter, so everything is cold, nothing to eat, right? People start dying, they have no clothes, so which means from here, they move back. So they use different color to represent the way back, okay? And of course, you can see that as they move back, the size, the width is getting smaller, right? Which means many soldiers die during this way back. And if you look at this chart, right, you can. It's quite difficult to see, but it's going to show the date, right? I think it's around October, right, and the temperature, which keep like minus something. Okay, so it shows that as they move back during winter, so it's pretty cold, so that weather also somehow impact the health of the soldier, right? Until when they return to this point, only few soldiers left, right? So that's how they use different type of pre-attentive attribute to convey this story, okay? They use color, right, to present the direction, right? This color when they invade, the black color when they somehow return back. Okay, so and also the map to represent information and some like graph to reflect the temperature. Okay, that's how they can use different pre-attentive attribute to convey this information. Okay, yeah, so that's how some how they use visualization to present some information. Or for this one, they want to present some type of food, right? So, and they use the image to somehow convey information. So this is the percent of Americans saying food is healthy, percent of nutritionists saying food is healthy. So they want to find some correlation, right? And they use picture to present this information, right? So you can see that there are different type of food that are present, right? So that's another way you can use some images, some picture to convey information. Okay, and of course, if you talk about good practice to present information, so there are some principles or some guidelines that you can use so that the information that is present is somehow correct, right? For example, this is from some statistician professor from Yale, right? So these are some of the guidelines. But sometimes it's quite obvious, right? Tell the truth, okay? Present clear and detailed information through labeling, right? Show data variation, not design variation, and make large data sets coherent, right? So these are some of the guidelines when you want to do some visualization. And we will go through some of these guidelines, right? For example, I think everyone knows this. Okay, what's wrong with this picture? This is about tell the truth. The number should be directly proportional to the numerical quantities measured. What's wrong with this picture? Yeah, everyone knows this guy, right? Ronaldo. Mm-hmm. What's wrong? Yes? Anything wrong? So they use a bar graph to represent the maybe revenue, right? This is called total jersey. His team, Juventus, sold in 2016 around 850K, and this is the total sold from Ronaldo, and this is from Neymar, another Brazilian a soccer player. So what's wrong with this one? Yes? Yes, scale is incorrect, right? Because if you plot this number proportionally, you see that it should be this picture, right? Where that 10K should be very, very small compared to these two, right? So that's how sometimes it can misrepresent the correct ratio, okay? That's one thing for this number, right? And I think it is quite obvious, right? Try to make it so that it looks very messy, so it's quite difficult to see, okay? Also, this one is, I'm not sure if you tried this, but yeah, if you want to present just two-dimensional of data, use 2D visualization, not 3D, okay? Otherwise, it's quite difficult to see, to differentiate, okay? That's some of the guideline, right? Number of information carrying variable should not exceed number of dimensions, okay? That's some of the issue, okay? What about this picture? What's wrong? What's wrong with picture on the left? What's wrong? Sorry. Sorry? What's wrong with this one? This is the y-axis is revenue in million, and they claim that it has a profit surge in fourth quarter, right? So this is the fourth quarter. Maybe it's not clearly somehow exactly aligned, but there is a profit surge in the fourth quarter from this bar graph. Is it true? Well, the reality is if you plot on this picture, then it's not somehow a big surge, right? It's relatively somehow like same of how, with some change. So what's wrong with this one? Right, so it starts at 8.2, right? But if you plot from 0, then you show that it's the surge is quite minimal. Okay, so that's one thing that we have to be careful when you plot something, especially for the bar graph. Make sure you start from 0. Okay, that's some of the key idea. Okay, sometimes they have the term data ink ratio, right? Which means they claim that for this case, the ink that you use to present the data versus the total ink should be somehow close to 1. Okay, that's the idea of maximize data to ink ratio, right? So that's some of the good ratio, right? So the ink that you use to plot the data is used for the data, which means this is a good ratio, but this is a bad ratio where many ink are also somehow present no information, right? So that's also some of the somehow how data ratio can somehow help a visualization. Okay, sometimes they use we call a spark lines. Has anyone seen this spark line before? Mm-hmm. Sometimes we have many information and we want to somehow compare, right? Maybe we don't care much about the value, but we want to somehow just to see a comparison. That we just use like a spark line to compare the trend among different sets of data. Right? That's also some of the approach that we can use to present something. Okay. Right. So those are some of the data type, some basic of visualization. Now let's look at a data type and visualization type that we come across. Right. So normally when we talk about a data type, right, we have two big groups like category and numeric. Okay. For category, it is like nominal or ordinal, where it is a type of data, dog, cat, bird, whatever, or something that ordinal, which means it has the order, right? Customer rating, or some number, the rating, so it has an order or sequence. And for numeric, I think it's quite intuitive, right? The numeric value that we record, the sales price, or like some like house price. Mm-hmm. Right, it can separate into discrete and continuous. Of course, and if we talk about visualization type, we can categorize as 1D, one-dimensional, 2D, or 3D, or 3D plus. Okay, some visualization type. This is for like line chart, scatter plot, or even 3D. And of course, each type of visualization can somehow like is suitable for different type of data that we want to present. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the way that we can try to present the data. So this is from Hans Rosling. He tried to use some visualization to explain the story of like human across 200 years. Okay. So, okay, I'll try to present this.
Visualization is right at the heart of my own work too. I teach global health. And I know having the data is not enough. I have to show it in ways people both enjoy and understand. Now, I'm going to try something I've never done before. Animating the data in real space with a the impact of the First World War and the Spanish flu epidemic. What a catastrophe. And now I speed up through the 1920s and the 1930s. And in spite of the Great Depression, Western countries forge on towards greater wealth and health. Japan and some others try to follow, but most countries stay down here. Now, after the tragedies of the Second World War, we stop a bit to look at the world in 1948. 1948 was a great year. The war was over, Sweden topped the medal table at the Winter Olympics, and I was born. But the differences between the countries of the world was wider than ever. United States was in the front, Japan was catching up. Brazil was way behind, Iran was getting a little richer from oil, but still had short lives. And the Asian giants, China, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh and Indonesia, they were still poor and sick down here. But look what is about to happen. Here we go again. In my lifetime, former colonies gained independence, and then finally they started to get healthier and healthier and healthier. And in the 1970s, then countries in Asia and Latin America started to catch up with the Western countries. They became the emerging economies. Some in Africa follows. Some Africans were stuck in civil war and others hit by HIV. And now we can see the world today in the most up-to-date statistics. Most people today live in the middle, but there are huge differences at the same time between the best of countries and the worst of countries. And there are also huge inequalities within countries. These bubbles show country averages, but I can split them. Take China, I can split it into provinces. There goes Shanghai. It has the same wealth and health as Italy today. And there is the poor inland province Guizhou. It is like Pakistan. And if I split it further, the rural parts are like Ghana in Africa. And yet, despite the enormous disparities today, we have seen 200 years of remarkable progress. That huge historical gap between the West and the rest is now closing. We have become an entirely new converging world. And I see a clear trend into the future. With aid, trade, green technology and peace, it's fully possible that everyone can make it to the healthy, wealthy corner. And I see a clear trend into the future. With aid, trade...
Okay, so I think that's all. So you can see that from this video. He's just died a couple of years back, but from his video, right, he tried to use the pre-attentive attributes that we discussed before in order to somehow explain some story, right? They use, what does the color represent? Continent, yeah, for continent. And they use the two-dimensional. Y is the life expectancy, X is the income, and they use animation to somehow explain the timeline, right? So that's also some of the somehow pre-additive attribute that you can use to present some story, right? But this is for the somehow life expectancy versus the income, okay? Yeah, so this is on the YouTube, so if you want to get some idea, then you can try to somehow watch this one. This is quite a good way to do visualization. Okay. Right. Oops. Okay. Now let's look at some of different type of data that are available and how to present it. Okay. So we talk about bar chart, right? That's also quite somehow a basic type of chart that we use, right, to show some quantity, so some numeric value, right? That's for one-dimensional. And sometimes you see that it's there is a line chart, the line, right, connecting this bar. Okay. So sometimes it's not recommend because, yeah, in some case, for example, this dog, rabbit, and cat, if you see the line, maybe it shows that it has some connection, okay, which you should avoid, right, in this situation. Okay, and sometimes we have this pie chart, right? If you Google search, you see the head of pie chart. So what's wrong with pie chart? What's wrong? I think many people use it, right? What's wrong? Look nice? You like it? Look fine. But what's wrong with this? Yes. No, it's accurate. Yeah, it's accurate. Yeah. Normally, if we want to represent a proportion, right, we use pie chart. But what's wrong with pie chart? Compare. Uh-huh. Yeah, so you can see a comparison, right? If you present using a bar graph, okay, you can easily see that black has the highest number, red has the lowest number. But if you present using pie chart, it's not that easy to see. Okay. The thing is, when we look at the pie chart, we need to analyze the angle, the length, the position, the area, when we decide which one is higher, right? Which, of course, for human, it's not that easy to visualize. That's why, of course, sometimes if the ratio is very, somehow, the gap is very wide, then it is okay, right? But if it is not that somehow easy to see, bar chart is a better option, right? So that's why sometimes they think pie chart is not a good option to present some data, right? This is for the histogram. This is quite obvious, okay? And I think you have seen this a lot, right? The scatter plot, which is for two-dimensional, where we present two variables and want to see a relationship between two data types, right? So you can see that for this case, it seems there are some correlation between value 1 and 2 when you visualize from this scatter plot, okay? And line plot, I think this is quite obvious. So normally, when do we use line plot? When? Time series. So why time series is good to use line plot? Yeah, it's continuous, right? So we know that in this case, if it is x-axis is time, so it is somehow continuous, right? So which means when we use line plot, we know that there is a like continuation or some relationship on this time axis, okay? Right, or some box plot, I think you have seen this before, so I will not go into the detail. Yeah, for some box plot, sometimes we use some whisker to present like the outlier. That also what we can use, okay? And sometimes we use a violin plot. I think this is, I plotted from like Seaborn, right, to do the plot. So for violin plot, right, so it shows the distribution. Yeah, that's also what we can do with different type of plot. If you want to see how data vary across the whole range, then violin plot is a good option, okay? Bubble plot, I think we have seen this before to represent the area. But of course, when we use the area to represent the number, sometimes it is not that easy. It is quite similar to when we use a pie chart. When we present the number using the area, sometimes it is not easy to somehow like quantify what exactly are the value of this area, right? So that's also something that you have to be careful as well. Unless you want to trick someone, yeah, maybe you can use a bubble plot. But in many cases, you have to be careful if you want to somehow use area to present some numeric number. Okay, we talk about 1D, 2D, and then 3-dimensional. So what's wrong with this one? What do you think? What do you think about this 3-dimensional plot? Good? Okay? Did you understand my question? Why it's good, it's bad? Good? Who think it's good? Think it's bad? Two? What about others? No idea. Well, it's not a good way to present. Why is that? Yeah, because for 3-dimensional, if you present on this like projector, which is 2-dimensional, right? Of course, when we talk about visualization, we want to present such that once you see the visualization, you can somehow clearly see, okay, what happened, right? But if it is 3-dimensional, then it is not that easy to visualize on this 2-dimensional screen. Okay, maybe if you use VR, then it is fine. But for us, we normally focus on present on 2D. So we should focus on how to use a 2-dimensional plot to present on the 2-dimensional a screen. Okay, so sometimes we use a pair plot to somehow show a relationship among more than two data sources. Okay, we use the pair plot, right? So which is a scatter plot for each pair of data source. Oops. Okay, or some bubble plot, which I think we already showed before in the YouTube video, how to present 3-dimensional data. Okay, or even use some kind of graph. Okay, I think we show some example, right? Sometimes for the some type of data, especially for cyber attack, maybe we can try to somehow present using graph in order to see the relationship of different sources that maybe they have some connection with each other, right? So I think if you talk about like social network, right, it's also quite typical to use graph to present. Any other situation that you think we can use graph to present? No idea? Maybe some type of some network of maybe some gangs or scammer. Maybe you can use graph to present their relationship, right? That's also possible as well. And this picture just try to somehow summarize what type of graph we should use. For example, if you want to find a relationship between two variables, maybe use a scatter plot, right? So you can see the relationship. Or if you want to compare, yes, when you compare, you talk about number, then bar graph is fine, or even line graph is fine. Or if you want to show a distribution, maybe some histogram, right? Or if you want to see what are inside each number composition, like either the pie chart. Let's say you have a cell, you want to find out, okay, what's the proportion of cell from this type of product, furniture, shoes, or cosmetic, right? So that also you can use this composition to present that information. Okay, so that's also how different type of visualization we can use to for each type of a task we want to present. Okay, and the one that you tried earlier is a Plotly, which is a very somehow simple visualization tool that we can use. Okay. This is a Python graph library that creates interactive web-based visualization. Okay, so the good thing about this is sometimes when you create some visualization, you want to somehow make it interactive, right? You click it, it shows something. Yes, Plotly can do that type of a plot. Okay, which in cybersecurity, sometimes it's also a good thing that we create a plot that you can easy to see and interactive as well. Okay, that's also some benefit of using Plotly to the plot. Okay, and of course, to make it even simpler, we have Plotly.express, which is we call a high-level API, which means with just one line of code, which I think you tried before, you can quickly plot some graph. Okay, that's also some of the thing that we can play with. Okay, and to use Plotly, it's also very simple. So you import Plotly.express as px. Then you use px.chart type. Could be bar chart, px.bar, pie chart, px.pie, line chart, px.line, or even geomap, scatter underscore geo, right? It's going to show the map. Okay, that's also very somehow intuitive and simple syntax to plot something. Okay. For example, right? So actually, in the exercise, we can try to use to plot this as well. So this is how we use Plotly to plot how we analyze that log and want to see where did the attack come from based on the IP address, right? And we can summarize and plot it on this map that use Plotly. What do you think? Is it beautiful? Beautiful? You smile, not beautiful, right? Yeah, of course. For this Plotly, this is done by Plotly.express, which is, it's like there is a trade-off. Okay, you use a simple like plot function to plot. Yes, it can somehow create this plot very, very easy, but the visualization maybe is not very, very beautiful. Of course, there are other like Python library like Seaborn that you try that create like more beautiful picture. But I think this is a good somehow. Maybe if you want to talk about some some quick visualization to see the trend, then this is a good option that you can try. Of course, we can try to create the somehow. Let's say if you want to use bubble plot to reflect the size, the number of attacks for each location, then you can try to do it. That's so possible as well. Okay. Okay. So 2:43. We are running out of time. Yeah. So I think. Okay. For all the codes, right? It is in this M3 solution. So you can try to run it, okay? And if you look at the solution, basically it's just similar to what we explained before. So it try to analyze the log and do some visualization. For example, if you do the plot, okay, I think it's already present. Okay, so this is try to somehow explain the alert information from if.json here, right? So it will try to explain. So these are some information, and so these are some explanation, right? Some alert. And of course, you can try to run this code. Right, so it's going to somehow try to analyze the type of attack, signature of the attack. Okay, and of course, if you want to run, okay, and you can try to rank it, to rank the somehow severity of the attack. Right, and then you get this result. And of course, you can even use this Gen AI to somehow give some explanation. This is what we tried earlier. Okay, so you can try to connect to the host, and then try to prompt, right, to analyze the alert, right? That's also something that you can try as well. Right, so you can try to run, okay? And then this is the command, okay? So this is the prompt, okay? Cybersecurity analyst, analyze the alert. Right, so this is, we use Llama 3.1. So we run this part. It's going to somehow send the log. Right, yeah, you can, it is quite fast. And for this plot, right, if you want to somehow map the IP address, right, you can use this function to map the IP address and run this part, right, to summarize the alert. And we can use Plotly to do the plot, right? This is what we tried before. Right, so this is how we use Plotly to do the plot. And of course, you can, similar to what you tried before, you can prompt in order to somehow ask the Llama 3 to return the Plotly script to explain, to give the script. So that's what we can try. Okay, so that's some of the things that I want to cover. But of course, you can try to prompt, but with the concept of the basic of like visualization. So at least you have some idea what type of prompt you should give to the Llama 3 so that the result is somehow can convey, the picture can convey information that you want to present. Okay, and that's this part, right? Right, for example, you can use the prompt, like instead of just plot this data, then you can be more specific. Generate a time series line chart of Surikata alert per hour using Plotly, right? So that's how you can try to somehow use your the concept of like visualization in order to prompt so that you get a better result. So that's the idea. So describe the chart as if explaining to a junior analyst. Okay, that's something that you can keep aware of when you want to prompt in order to create some visualization. Okay, and I think that's all I want to cover. Right, so you can try to run this code and run some result and you get some plot, right? Of course, there is a part that you can use Gen AI to create the audit report as well. That's also in part 6. Of course, it depends on the prompt that you provide, okay? For example, this is some term that we want to get from the report, right? So you can, from this analysis, so this is a script in order to somehow like put all the alert in this data frame and then prompt. You are a cybersecurity auditor, create a structured audit report summarizing following security alerts from the log, and also mention that this is what should be included in the report, right? Title, and summary, the date, right? Recommendation. And this is about how you can try to format, okay? And if you do it correctly, so this will be the output that you got it from. Okay, yeah, maybe you can try. Just a quick question, because we still have one more session, right? The last one, which is about how we use this Gen AI to somehow we prompt, and it's going to interact with the query. It is going to, the Gen AI is going to translate the prompt into query and send to the database, get the result back, and somehow interpret the result into English, right? So that's also the last part. But I think we have limited time. So is it okay that for the last part, it is in the train the trainer session? Anyone want to join train the trainer session? Just one, two? What about others? Oh, okay. For train the trainer, it's supposed to be talking about if you want to somehow use what you learned today and go back and then try to teach to others at your company, your school, or whoever, right? So we'll talk a bit about how we set up this thing, what type of thing you need to consider when you have to teach, right? So we will talk about that aspect. So we will, that's for the trainer. So interesting. Okay, yeah, so, but in this case, so for module 3, I will stop here, but you can try to somehow play with the prompt in order to either to do some plot or generate the audit report, right? And when we are back, then we will continue module 4 on how to use the Gen AI to analyze the log, right? So the module 4 is on this, right? Yeah, AI-assisted Suricata log analysis, right? With Python and log.gl query in Loki, right? That also for module 4, okay? And okay, so at this point, yeah, you can try to play with the module 3, see how you can generate some audit report, right? You can try to play with some prompt, see how if you change the prompt, what will be the output, the audit report it will generate, okay? Okay, yeah, we still have 6 minutes before the break at 3, so maybe we can try to play with this a little bit before we go to break. Or you want to break now? Of course not, right? We are still somehow active, right? Okay, yeah, so it's up to you. So if you want to play it, then that's fine. Or if you want to take a break and come back and then try to run it, that's also fine as well. Yeah, maybe you can try to create the report here. Okay, so you set the model, you connect to like Llama, and then you run it. Right. So it's gonna take some time to connect. Wow, it's quite fast, right? So for this one, it's show some summary of the findings and show some recommendation. For this one, it's right. So for this one, it is going to create like some text box where if you have additional question, you can type it, right? That query or that this prompt will be sent to this Llama server to give the answer. For example, let's say you have this report, right? This recommendation, and maybe you want to ask, what's the next step? You can ask, what's the next step? And you enter. It will somehow give the prompt back, okay? Communicate with stakeholders, management, and communications team, right? The organization can address the identified security risk and improve its overall security posture, right? So that's some of the somehow way we can use a text box to somehow communicate with Llama in the interactive way, okay? Once you are done, you can type exit to quit. To quit. Mm-hmm.
Everyone, you can get a solution file directly from the Moodle 3.5. You can directly download and you can execute it. No need to write any extended code there. Everyone is trying the M3 underscore exercises. Just try to download the M3 extended solutions file from 3.5 in Moodle or TEAL. And also try to change the IP address.